This baby did not grow up surrounded by expensive toys, music lessons, or fancy instruments. Instead, the soundtrack of childhood was the sound of rain hitting a tin roof, distant traffic, and a small radio that barely worked. That radio, however, became the doorway to a world far bigger than the one this child could see. Late at night, when the heat was heavy and sleep was hard to find, music would drift through the static. Songs from different countries, different languages, and different lives filled the room. One night, a song came on that would change everything. It was powerful, emotional, and filled with longing. A rock ballad by the legendary band Scorpions. The baby did not understand the words, did not know the meaning, but somehow felt the emotion. The melody wrapped itself around the child's heart in a way that made no sense, yet felt completely natural. From that moment on, something awakened. As the years passed, the baby grew into a small child with a voice that did not match the body it came from. While other children laughed and played, this child sang. Not children's songs, not nursery rhymes, but deep, emotional melodies that carried pain, hope, and strength far beyond their age. Neighbors would stop outside the house just to listen. Some would close their eyes, others would cry, and many would ask the same question. How can someone so young sing like that? Life, however, did not become easier. Hunger still came. School was a luxury. Shoes were worn until they fell apart. But the voice remained. Singing became an escape, a comfort, and a dream. The dream was not fame or money. The dream was simple. To be heard. To sing on a stage where people would truly listen. That dream felt impossible until one day, a video was recorded on an old phone. The child stood barefoot, holding nothing but courage, and sang a Scorpions song with a voice that cracked hearts open. The video was shared online, then shared again, and again. Slowly, it reached places the family never imagined. And eventually, it reached the producers of America's Got Talent. An invitation arrived that felt unreal. A chance to audition on one of the biggest stages in the world. For a poor Filipino child, this was more than an opportunity. It was a miracle. The journey to America was overwhelming. Airports, airplanes, cameras, and crowds were things the child had only seen on television. Fear mixed with excitement. The stage felt massive. The lights were blinding. And sitting at the judge's table was the man known for being brutally honest, emotionally reserved, and nearly impossible to impress, Simon Cowell. Backstage, the child clutched a microphone with shaking hands. The outfit was simple. No designer clothes, no styling team, just a clean shirt, worn shoes, and a heart full of nerves. Producers asked questions. Why did you choose this song? The answer was innocent and honest. Because it makes me feel strong. Because it makes me feel like I am not alone. Then came the moment. The name was called. The child walked onto the stage, small against the giant backdrop, waves of whispers spreading through the audience. Some smiled. Some looked confused. Some expected something cute, maybe funny. No one expected what was about to happen. The music began softly. The first note came out, and instantly, the room changed. The voice was raw, emotional, and hauntingly beautiful. It carried years of struggle, nights of hunger, dreams whispered into the dark. The audience leaned forward. The judges froze. This was not just singing. This was storytelling through sound. As the song built, the child closed their eyes. For a moment, it felt like the world disappeared. There was no audience, no cameras, no pressure. Just a voice and a feeling. The high notes soared, powerful and controlled. The low notes carried sadness and hope intertwined. Goosebumps spread across the room. Halfway through the performance, something rare happened. Simon Cowell, known for his tough exterior, leaned back in his chair, his expression completely changed. His eyes glistened. One judge covered their mouth in disbelief. Another wiped away tears. The audience began to cry openly. This was no longer an audition. This was a moment. When the final note faded, silence filled the room for a split second. Then the audience erupted. A standing ovation shook the theater. Cheers, applause, and tears filled the air. The child stood there, breathing heavily, unsure of what just happened. Simon spoke first. His voice was softer than anyone had ever heard it. He talked about how. Then came the votes. Yes. 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 Every judge stood in support. But the moment was not over. Simon paused. He looked at the child, then at the audience. He talked about dreams, about how sometimes the world is unfair, but moments like this remind us why talent matters. Slowly, dramatically, he reached for the golden buzzer. The theater exploded in shock. Golden confetti rained down like a dream. The child looked up, eyes wide, tears streaming down their face. This was not just success. This was life-changing. The judges rushed to the stage. The audience screamed. Millions watching around the world felt it in their hearts. Backstage, the child cried in disbelief. For the first time, the future did not feel heavy. It felt bright. The story spread across the world. News outlets shared it. Social media exploded. People from different countries, cultures, and backgrounds connected through one small voice. This was not just a story about talent. It was a reminder that greatness can come from anywhere. That even in poverty, even in struggle, something beautiful can grow. A poor Filipino baby singing Scorpions on AGT did not just make judges cry. It made the world feel something real again. If this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments. Share this video with someone who believes in dreams. And remember, sometimes the smallest voices carry the biggest messages.